it being 3:30 and recognizing a quorum, I call the regular meeting of the Wareham Housing Authority, November 29, 2017, to order. I'd ask everyone to please rise, turn off their electronic devices, and say the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Steve Texera, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call of the members. Bob Powell, latest, present. Bill Lockwood, present. Donna Braun, present. Eleanor Martin, present. Dean Connaughton, on her way. First item of business is residents' participation. We welcome our residents here. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving, and we wish you a happy and pleasant and joyful Christmas holiday season.
You also.
Thank you. So at this point, we'd like to recognize some of our Gold Star, Blue Star illustrious residents and our retiring maintenance supervisor, who you know he's leaving, right?
Yeah, Joe.
You're gonna miss him?
We're gonna miss him, yeah.
Yeah, well, he'll send you
Very
all,
nice man.
he'll send you Christmas cards.
Well, he's only across the street, the first stone over there.
Yeah, well, that's when he's there. Okay,
Well,
so
I don't blame him.
I'll ask Jackie to introduce all of you. We thank you for all you've done over the past summer and with helping us with our landscaping and you beautifying the property. We really appreciate it, and I'll ask.
Along with many, we have wonderful volunteers, and I wanted to introduce the board to you and you to the board. These are our wonderful volunteers to our community in many different ways. We'll start with Miss Barbara Johnson. She really lends a hand for our food pantry. We have it every Monday, and she's able to come in and make sure it's distributed equitably to all of our residents, that anybody in need, make sure she gets it in need. And she also lends a hand, and she's a beautiful gardener and has done wonderful in the past, and she still helps out. Her own yards always look like Better Homes and Gardens. And along with Alice Sequeira, who can't be here today, Alice Sequeira does the food pantry at Redwood. Miss Johnson does the food pantry here at Agawam. Then we have Miss Brenda Swain, and this is Miss Brenda Swain over here. Say hi. She really has helped with Redwood community. She not only lends a hand to all of the residents at Redwood, making sure that if somebody has a doctor's appointment or wants a lift to the store, she's her own little dial-a-ride, and along with being a tremendous help with our community building at Redwood, she goes in and she cleans it, and actually it has been decorated beautifully for the holidays already, and really takes pride in that community center. And fills in when Mr. John Santagate, who is another volunteer at Redwood. Mr. Santagate, we have 2 doors at Redwood that need to be locked, and so every morning and evening, sometimes before dawn and sometimes long after the dusk, they make sure that it is safe, secure, and locked at the end of the evening, and so we appreciate that as well. Then we have Mr. Marty Benoit and family, because that's how we did the certificate, because really it is a family venture. He has been tremendous on keeping the whole entire building 5 out front cleaned and blown leaves in the summer, and cleaning up and making sure they have a beautiful garden out front. They take care of the area. They are another very beautiful family that helps tremendously. He gets his son. I'm sorry?
Oh, someone's parked in his,
What number is it? It might be me.
I think it's Donna.
I'm in the,
Is it
No,
13?
she's right out
It's
here.
13.
Yeah, that's me. I'll go move.
All right.
sorry,
What do we get for signing these places?
Yeah.
I did it on purpose.
And last but not least, Miss Kathy Velpe. She has a tremendous green thumb and helps so much around building number 3 and beyond. She is basically sunshine to our community and offers wonderful, she does our gardens when she has a moment. She helps the guys with cleanup when she has a cleanup. And for these and all of our volunteers, we are truly grateful for their service, tireless service, because it never ends. It is every season. They will be out, the Benoits will be out snow blowing or doing whatever they can to help, and Barbara does what she can, and John and Mr. Santagate, wonderful with the, and we just, I can't say enough, and I wanted to say thank you and show you our appreciation.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good exercise. Like being out in the community.
Yeah, I know.
Do a good job.
Kathy
Yeah,
can't sit still.
thank you.
Work harder and faster.
And then,
Okay, boss. Okay.
And we'll pay you double next time.
Oh, that's even better.
It's all about the exercise.
Yeah.
and last but not least, we're here to say a profound gratitude for Stephen Texera. He came to us in October of 2013, right after the exodus of the previous administration, and really, as far as there was never a complaint, we were constantly in crisis mode, and I think we would want to fairly say that we finally, for the maintenance, have moved out of crisis mode, and we do have some smaller challenges left to go in order to really say that we have been put back to where we should have been 4 years ago, and to have such a great employee that never complains, would tirelessly during snowstorms plow 20 hours straight, making sure the roads were always kept clean and able to be passable, and work until the snow was removed, till they could go home and sleep, and then come back, and then snow remove again. So with that, not just the snow removal, not just the non-complaining, he was tremendous asset to our residents. There was never an impatient moment with him, with our residents and guests, and everyone can be attest to that. So for that, we're truly going to miss him and wish him the best of luck on his future, and we hope to see him in the future.
Thank you.
You're
Before we hand out these certificates of appreciation, again, we all thank you very much. We thank Steve, and Steve told me to tell you all to pass the word that his parting gift for Christmas time, he's going to be delivering a red shovel with a green bow on it for the winter. So you can shovel your stoops and walkways.
You get bored, you know where we are.
Yeah, all right, so go ahead.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'd like to add that even on his off time, Steve has helped me out.
Yeah.
Perhaps a number of people on his own time.
That's what we like to see. He's a
Yeah.
good man. We hope we can say that about all the staff.
Thank you. And Barbara. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Huh?
That's why I
What?
said and
What?
family.
Yeah, because family.
We appreciate.
Thank you.
Any other comments from you folks?
No.
All right.
Have a wonderful Christmas.
You too.
Happy New Year.
You too.
Thank you.
And enjoy your Christmas breakfast that
Oh, absolutely.
Jackie has planned for you all.
I enjoy everything.
All right. We'll see you. If we can make it, we'll be there.
Yep.
December 12th in Agawam Village, December 13th in Redwood,
Okay.
9 to 11.
Okay.
Or 9 till we
You
finish.
can go to both if you want.
She invited me before.
Yeah, you do invite everybody. Because I want them to come if they can't make one, come to another.
12, 11, and 12, 12?
See you tomorrow.
12, 12, and 12:13.
Jackie, I have a doctor's appointment before now.
That's okay, that's fine. Yeah, see you later.
Okay.
Oh,
Thank you, everybody.
You're welcome.
Thank you
It's
all.
9 a.m. till 11.
bye.
So everybody was present.
Except for Alice Silvera. Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay.
I'll be over at,
Yeah, when it's done.
Pretty Lake.
Yeah. I'll have everything.
All these have a nice holiday.
You too. Thanks again. Appreciate
Take
it.
one. Okay. I'll come get you.
I'm sure I'll see you around, Jackie.
Yep, bye-bye, we'll see you soon,
Hope
Mr.
so.
CPA. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much. Thanks so much.
Gotta eat.
I gotta eat.
Thank you very much.
So all you men think about is eating.
I went to Redwood by mistake.
Bye-bye, I'll see you
I
later.
got there and... Well, no, she called this morning, but I was on the golf course.
Now it's time for you guys to have a meeting, right?
Yes.
Okay.
You can stay.
I know I can. But I'll probably go walk my dog again.
Walk your doggy.
Walk, walk, walk.
Thank you again.
You're very welcome anytime, you know? I can be of help.
Pray for a mild winter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so,
I like helping the people and everything I can.
and we're happy that you do.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah?
I just love doing it anyways. If I see somebody out struggling with bundles, can I help you?
Gonna have to move to my neighborhood.
All right. But you have the money, you can pay
Help
me.
me out.
Have a great one, everybody.
You too,
all right?
bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Aye, aye, aye. Okay, under old business. Review and approve the regular minutes of October the 18th, 2017. Do you need this? No?
I can go with that.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion to approve. Is anyone time to read them?
Motion by Jean
I'll second.
Connaughton, second by Eleanor Martin. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
What?
I gotta abstain.
I gotta
Oh,
abstain.
oh,
They were there.
I wasn't here.
You're abstaining, all right,
I'd
yeah.
love to approve them, but
All right,
it's
so
probably bad form.
Yep.
401.
Oh, 3-0.
Thank you.
No, no, no.
302.
1, 2, 3, 4.
No, but
No,
Donna wasn't here
Oh,
either,
Donna
so
wasn't here
3-0.
either, oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so it's-
I'm here, but I'm not all there, so that's,
Yeah, well,
okay,
Yeah, we know
3-0.
that.
you gotta be around here sort of to make the quorum.
Yes, I think we had a quorum, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. We did have a quorum.
Okay, next item of business is,
So moved.
oh yeah,
Okay.
all right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, you got the vote, 302, okay. What am I reading?
Oh, you're reading the minutes,
I should be
yeah.
reading the agenda, that's
Okay.
all. Okay, next item is to approve the authorization of checks and documents that have adequate supporting documentation and after review by our executive director.
Didn't I just move that when we
Yep,
voted it?
yep, oh, awkward, yep. The next one, we need a second.
I'll second.
Seconded by Eleanor Martin, motion made by Bill Lockwood. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
So what is it? 302.
No, no,
No,
no. 302 is the
500.
minimum, it's 500
This
is
is
the
500,
signing.
all right, now we're back on track, good, all right. Under new business, chairman report is to hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving and wish everybody a happy holiday during this holiday Christmas season. Next item is the administrator's report.
What
Okay.
about the CPC projects? Do you have anything to comment on that?
Yeah.
That's the minutes from last meeting, Donna, where we weren't here.
Gotcha.
Thank
Can I
you.
have glasses back?
There you go.
Yeah. So the administration report, well, interestingly enough, we did have one vacancy. I kept it on there for Agawam because we had a unit that was abandoned. The family came back, made good. So now it's not abandoned and they're gonna be out of there on 11:30, but I kept it. I kept both of those because as of 11:30, we will have one unit in Agawam empty and one unit in Redwood empty. So they will both be done by 11:30, which is tomorrow. And then applications, we have 843 on file, split between 241 resident, 602 non-resident. The accounts receivable is attached. Give me a copy, but if anybody. I don't have. Accounts receivable, the one little small sheet. Oh, my God, I don't have anybody else like that. Nope, unbelievable.
It's all right.
I did not attach it, but I do have it. I will email it to everybody. We're pretty good. But one thing, I spoke to our lawyer, and there's one, we're gonna go for a court order agreement for the person that owes that substantial amount of money, just so we can get a court order. After looking at the finances and speaking to him, we will not be able to get a consistent payment from him, and we need to have and the lawyer agreed that we need to have a consistent payment. So we're gonna take that family just to get a court-ordered repayment agreement, okay?
Well, well, it's gonna cost you to do that, yeah.
Yeah, it will
Um,
cost us. It'll cost us $200, $237.
Is this a resident that's been here for a long time?
Yeah,
Yes.
It's the same one.
My
But-
friend?
Yes, but I just,
You couldn't make a deal with this?
I have reached out on
Sure.
several occasions, to be, what I would consider ignored. And, I think it's something that
Why,
we,
I guess my question is, if we have reached out and we've been this patient all along,
right,
why not
because
take
it's,
it to the wall?
well, because he the payment that he paid, we get half now, because his rent went up. So they're giving me just a certain amount of money and basically saying, this is all we can do. And the court will have a real overview. They really look at everybody's finances and they say this needs to be done within 2 years or 15 months. So then we will not have a balance in 15 months as of another 6 years of what they're paying now. And I just think it's good practice, because that's what I would do with anybody else.
Well,
I got a little lost, I'm sorry. I got
So
little
they
lost
paid
in
a
the
certain
list.
amount of money. They were paying $68 in their past due. Okay?
They
Now
owe
they're
a
paying
lot.
$24. And
Oh,
when
'cause
I've
their
asked,
rent went
because
up.
their rent went up. And so I've asked them to kind of come and kind of meet what they paid last, what they had been paying all along, right? That would be fair to say. But they have, have not commented or not gotten back to me, and
so what are you gonna have to, you're gonna have to do a 14-day notice and then make an agreement with the judge, right?
no, it's not with a judge, but it is with
The
the
court.
court. It's
Court
with the
magistrate.
mediation that will take a look at his finances, and they will determine what,
But you
based
would have
on,
to begin with a 14-day notice.
yes. Well, I'm not sure if it's 14 or 30, because it's not with cause, it's not because of
It's
non-payment.
non-payment, it is
Okay,
non-payment.
it is non-payment, so
It's
then it'll be
non-payment.
14
And a
day, yeah,
14-day notice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you do the 14-day notice, and then you meet with mediation at the courthouse. and
Correct.
decide it.
correct, yeah, and then it's court ordered.
And just tell them, you've been trying to work with them for
Couple of years.
at least
Right.
2 years.
Yeah.
Exactly,
Yeah.
You
yes,
know?
yep,
Couple of years. The fact that his rent went up means his income went up, but he's continuing to procrastinate on the payment, which would, they take, like she said, 6 years if it ever got paid off at the
It
existing
would never
rate.
get paid off even at that.
Which is ridiculous.
The way I,
exactly, so she felt, after I gave everything to the lawyer, just so I could see what her view was. Was it worth it, was it not? To go before the judge and the judge say, well, he's been paying you all along, but she said, no, absolutely, because you probably could get $150 to $200 from here until he pays his.
yeah, and they can do it.
Yes.
The family can do it.
Right, that's,
Yeah, so it's the right thing to do.
It is.
If we did that with everybody, we'd be out of business, so we
Exactly.
can't
Right.
do it.
so.
Okay, so, go ahead.
It's one thing when someone comes to me and says, I can't pay my rent, or I can give you $100 and I'm gonna give you half the next month, along with the full rent, and half the following month, and we're done in 3 months. I mean, we do, have to have that, a little bit of that, but not when it's, I've reached out, and it's, I consider it being ignored. So
All
with
the
that
other-
being said,
All the other receivables are minor, either prepays or past due a couple of days, from what I understand. Is that one significant
one, right?
outstanding one? Yeah.
only that one.
Okay.
And I will
again-
email you that. I don't even know why I didn't get in.
Again, on that,
Yes.
I'd commend you for the fact that we're down and we have really
Yeah.
no vacancies, as opposed to, we had lots of vacancies and lots of delinquencies, so that's helping our bottom line and our revenue situation too. Go ahead.
Okay, so we had 81 work orders this month, 75 were completed, and 6 are remaining, and 2 are preventative maintenance that are remaining. Then I went on to explain what we did, you know, Steve's last day, and to thank our volunteers. Again, December 12th and 13th, we'll be having our annual Christmas gathering. We're gonna try breakfast this year, 9 o'clock, 12:12 and 12:13, and we are soliciting donations as per our agreement last month, but we've included Aldi's, and I guess the Wareham High School has a culinary arts program, so I think it's wonderful. We're gonna reach out to them too.
Yeah, they did a good job at the
Yeah.
Veterans Day. They donated good quality sandwiches, cookies and everything.
Something else,
Oh,
so
good.
I have the guy's name if you need.
Great, I will. I'll call you in the morning. So November, the Fall Narrow Conference was November 13th and 14th, and I did include an acronym sheet the state put forth for us to pass out to everybody, especially our board members, on the acronyms. Again, basically, I didn't put it in here, but they have not moved on the tenant board member. Matter of fact, they said it's 12 to 16 months out on any decisions, and basically, they may decide to add 2 more seats to each board to eradicate any issue with the voting portions. And there were many suggestions, and that was one of them.
With the quote tenant board member, they
with the
passed a
tenant
law
board
in
member.
2014, which was never operable, so.
So then they haven't moved, they're hoping to have their online centralized waiting list for the state 667 program up and running by July of 2018. And they hope to have, and then the PMR program went through their first year, so that's, and they gave an update on the RCAP program, which some of it is failing and some of it isn't. So it's just, our division happens to be run really well, but other divisions are really struggling because they have a lot more housing authorities, so. December 2017 meeting falls on 12/20. I think that we have a board member leaving for Florida, and we were going to see if we could push it up to the 19th, which would be Tuesday. Would that be a problem for anybody?
Okay,
Not
no.
offhand.
Not offhand. If it becomes a
As
problem,
long as
just,
it's after 3.
yeah, we'll do
3:30.
3:30. Is it okay, Eleanor?
Yep, okay. So 12:19?
Yeah.
Jean's checking her calendar.
Yep, I'm fine.
Okay.
And that's it, Agawam?
It would be at Redwood.
I mean, Redwood.
Yeah.
Okay,
For community support, the Veterans Council, which normally would store their flags from Veterans to Memorial Day at Morse Lumber, and Morse Lumber has given them notice that they can no longer use that space. So we do have crawl spaces, and we have definitely plenty of space available, and I didn't know if it would be okay if we could reach out to them and offer them the space. We're not talking about a lot of space, so.
basically, it's the flags and the related paraphernalia that they put up every Memorial Day and take down, you know, the plastic things which you put the flag in and that sort of stuff. Not significant, but I guess Jim Bruce is in the mergers and acquisition stage of his career, so he's looking to clean up his stuff he's been storing for everybody. Okay.
Do we have, our crawl spaces, are they appropriate for storage?
yeah.
Storage of
Absolutely.
flags?
Up there.
Yeah. We did
At
it,
Redwood, that's what we're.
Oh,
we're
at
making-
Redwood,
We're
yes,
making the
yeah.
office. In the-
Right,
in
so
the-
that's actually a basement.
Yeah, basement,
the
yeah.
B building's basement, all the remaining ones are crawl spaces,
Oh,
but
okay.
they're pretty much
But you
4.5
can-
feet to
you can
5
get
feet,
in.
Okay.
depending on, you can easily get in,
And they're dry.
and they're all dry. Matter of
Yeah,
fact,
concrete.
the state of Massachusetts came and when we had a problem with the E building, and they couldn't believe how dry E building was, because it's right on the Wareham River. And it was quite dry, and I was like, wow, that's pretty interesting. You don't even have any mold smell or any, water coming in, so. We recently did a whole survey and clean out of all our basements to make sure that, what do we have down there, and make sure it was cleaned out and only the appropriate things, because we have, the only thing in most of them is the battery for the emergency light systems is stored right there. We keep it right there, so there's always a new battery. the residents received a tenant survey to complete and send back to UMass Amherst. This was generated by DHCD, and another another requirement of Special Acts of 2014, Chapter 235, so they did that. And for the housing authorities that have less than 200 units, they're gonna compile all of the data and send us a compilation. We have not received that yet, and I will pass that on when we do get it.
Well, do you know if it would be possible to extract our particular information out of the compilation?
I can't. I was hoping that we would get, a feedback, because I did speak to a lot of our residents and encourage them to do it and send it in, so we could have some sort of a baseline.
Mm-hmm.
We had done one back in 2014, and so this has been the first one done since then. So it's been 3 years. So it would be nice to see when I get it back. We'll
Just maybe ask DHCD in the interim that it's good to get a consolidated one, but all those other 200 authorities would probably, whatever there are, would like to see theirs as an individual component too, to compare with the other average of all the others.
Very interesting to know what
Otherwise,
they're
it's
thinking in
useless.
Chicopee, but not much use to us.
Yeah, it's
Correct.
useless, yeah, so, all
correct. Okay. I certainly will reach out.
right,
To
thank
them.
you, thank you.
So we had three subcommittee reports. We had three subcommittee meetings.
Meetings, yeah.
One was the resident relations subcommittee meeting, and we explained, we spoke about the detail of the holiday parties that are coming up. A new service that was proposed for our residents. There's a group of people that will come to the Wareham Housing Authority properties and offer low cost and for some no cost dental cleanings, denture cleanings, and consultations. This is offered for everybody, not just low income people. They're doing this at all, they're reaching out to all South Coast elderly services groups and town elder services. And it's been very successful in the town of Bourne. I know that they are 2 months booked because people, especially when you retire, the health insurance, the dental insurance becomes a minimum. So these women decided that there was a niche, and they found their niche, and they are doing this, and they came, and they're gonna be at the Wareham Council of Aging on December 6th, and we're gonna do a future date here. And then we discussed in detail how we communicate with our residents. We have the new one-call system, which is acts like the town all-call system. We have bulletin boards in each community room, and in Redwood, we have bulletin boards in each side of the hallways that have been newly painted, which is A through D. We give out a quarterly newsletter, and that is hand delivered to each unit each quarterly. Because sometimes that does have our things that we need to get across, things that'll be happening development-wide that they would need to be given a 48-hour notice. And then also explained, I have an open door policy with all the residents. They come in, sometimes they have to make a meeting time because I'm busy. Sometimes I'm able to meet with them. So there's never a time when nobody can reach out to me and get anything that they need to have, any concerns they have. We like to get them and know what they are. Explain some of the regulations, for example, the 21-day rule for visitors, the state guidelines for pets, etc. So we're trying to build our new pet policy. And then Ms. Connaughton asked and put forth, which I'm in reaching out to EMS. There's an EMS program where for people that don't have or pay a big copay for the ambulance, there is a
the Burgess program.
is that what it's called?
It's
Burgess
the
program?
Burgess,
that's what it
Okay.
is,
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's like $50 a year, I think.
Yeah, I'm gonna reach out to get the details and
It's a great program.
give it to each one, because we do have some people that have spent, to go from here to Toby Hospital, one woman had a $1,200 copay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
Is that through EMS?
Yes,
Yeah?
yes.
So how does that work? Anybody's eligible to?
No,
No,
low income. There's an income
no,
requirement.
my father had it too. I don't think so. I think you.
I went down once because I'd read it in the paper, and I thought it was all residents, and they said no, it was an income requirement. Now, perhaps that's changed, it was a few years back, but.
My dad had it, and I mean, he wasn't on the lower income scale. He was, moderate income.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's about $50 a year it was.
Yeah.
And that covers
It covers
your,
a whole year.
they pick you up.
Pick
to
up
the-
and
Pick
bring
you
you-
up and drop you off,
Yeah.
the whole year.
It's
As
really,
opposed-
really a
What would
great
it cost
program.
an ordinary person?
Like I said, this
Probably
one woman, $1,200 to
Oh,
go
yeah.
To my house and back?
to here,
Yeah.
to Toby
Yeah.
Hospital,
Oh,
which is
yeah.
half of a mile, little over half a mile. It was 1,286, because she came over to me, she had a whole, we sat one day and went through all the medical, because she had a stroke, and
Yeah.
she couldn't quite figure it out, so we sat there, and I was like, is this what they got you, to take you a mile? I mean,
Yeah.
and they're right across the street, so they're across the street, they jump here, jump there, and it cost her $1,200.
So,
Yeah.
good, look, get some brochures or whatever.
Yeah,
find
I'm
out
gonna
what-
do that.
And that's a town service,
It's called
right?
the,
Burgess program.
Burgess program.
Yeah.
No, the EMS is a town service.
Yes.
Yes.
As
Irene
opposed to a
Burgess.
private ambulance
Yes.
service.
Yeah.
Oh,
but
yeah, no,
still-
this is still, they do bill your
That's
insurance
for the
company,
years
and
and
it
years
depends on
ago.
what type of insurance you have, so for this woman, if she had paid $50 that year,
Yeah.
she would have, that would have been it, they wouldn't have been having, I mean, she was able to, through other great programs around town, able to get it down some, but she still has well over $50 to pay, and,
Yeah.
which she, worked out a monthly payment schedule with
But
her
if you-
children.
If an outside person has Medicare and supplementary insurance, and does that cover the whole bill, or was there still some
No,
left over?
it's just the ride portion of it. If they use, obviously, if they use,
Yeah.
syringe and stuff, that probably gets booked to your, But the ride itself can be very expensive under some
Yeah.
healthcare policies, healthcare.
Right, but what I'm saying is sometimes there's an agreement with, like with your health insurance, that the provider accepts whatever Medicare's in the supplementary insurance provided. If there's something else, that's it, but I don't know, how can they accept
Because I
just
think it's one of
$50?
those gray areas,
Well,
the
because-
ambulance ride, yeah.
The reason they can do that, I assume that it's some sort of a trust that somebody set up.
Yeah, Irene Burgess set it up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so it is
So
beautiful.
there is funding for it.
Ah,
That's how
over
it
and above
happens.
the
Yeah,
50 though.
yeah.
That
So,
was nice.
yeah.
Is that what Burgess Point is named after, that person?
Oh, I couldn't tell you that, Bill might be able to tell you that. I can't go back that far, I can only tell you about she used to own Irene's House of Flowers down here.
In
Oh,
town,
okay.
up
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
she was a very, very active woman in local town politics and
Oh,
everything for
wow.
years and
Beautiful.
years.
Sounds like a good person.
Yeah.
She was.
Then we,
Okay, so
in
you
that,
look into that.
right, I will definitely look into that and
Thank
get
you.
back to everybody.
So that was resident relations.
That was the
right?
resident relation, subcommittee meeting. Then the budget cash management finance subcommittee meeting was held on November 15th. And, investments, after research, I had reached out, MMDT is Massachusetts Municipal Depository Trust, for the greater yield on our savings account. And, after speaking and doing some research with our Eastern Bank gives us the check panini cashing machine, which saves us a lot of time going to the bank. We can deposit every one of our checks, and they allow our residents to go down there, Thursday and Friday nights and Saturdays to pay their rent. They're very, very generous. They never complain about taking in the money from our residents. They give us a receipt, they send us the receipt, so it's an extra level of work for them. So we asked them if they could meet the state's interest rate, because the Mass Municipal Depository Trust is where the state puts some of its investment money. And they were able to come up to extremely close to it, and I thought the other 0.2 that we didn't receive, I thought it was well worth what we do get from Eastern Bank and not to move our money out of Eastern Bank. So, so that's what we did,
Good, okay, and then.
budget guidelines from the state are not ready, and they do not expect them to be ready before the end of the year. They are expecting a 10% increase in all non-utility budget line items. We will meet again to discuss preparations for the budget guidelines when they come in. And as attached, we have the budget. I didn't email it out when I received it, I think on the 16th or the 20th of November, so we have the budget in there. And we explained the Wareham Housing Authority's accounts receivable process.
Just.
Go ahead.
Okay, so while you're on the.
Yep.
Just on the FY 17,
No, FY 18. Oh, I'm sorry, he did it wrong,
Yeah,
because
he
it's,
did.
he did not change that.
Yeah.
This is FY
so
18.
this is FY 18 as of September 30th, 2017. So
But-
it's the year ending 6/30/18.
Right,
So between now and the end of the year, if the state sends us this guideline, we can meet and start talking about what we would be projecting for the rest of the fiscal year, 6 more months. And talk with the FIACOM when he comes in and
yep.
look into our extraordinary costs and whatever else.
Those budget line item numbers do reflect the same as FY 17. They are not changed. The total ones that are under the annual budget column at the top where it says annual budget, that's FY 17 because we haven't gotten any guidelines on what they expect out of the FY 18 budget, which began July 1st. So we're just working with those numbers right now.
Yeah, and if those go up 10% in some categories, then it looks fairly well. And that still doesn't include
Right.
a subsidy over here. So if you put in a subsidy and 10%, you're talking 30 and 15, 45, maybe a $50,000 net income as opposed to a $40,000 loss last year. It's just, so, but we'll see as we proceed. Again, I'll make note that we haven't received a subsidy yet, and we're 11 months into the year, that they should be giving us on a monthly basis, but
They did, you
they
know.
don't. Thank God
So.
you don't need the money. It's like not getting your state aid or your local aid on a quarterly basis from the state, you know? All right, go ahead. Next one.
The Human Resource Subcommittee meeting, I attached again, I did attach.
It's there. I
Is
saw
it there? Yeah, I emailed it to everybody, but I did not attach it in the hard copy, but,
I just saw it a minute ago.
okay.
Here
So
it is.
there was,
Yeah,
oh, it is a
yeah,
job
I have
description for a maintenance mechanic
it?
two.
Oh, yeah.
We, after working with the budget numbers, and, no, I honestly, I don't have it, I'm
That's not
really,
there.
I guess, you know what happened yesterday? That's the program,
She's
but I
looking for the
wanted,
job description for the maintenance
yeah,
mechanic. Anyway,
the subcommittee, oh,
but it's
man.
fairly boilerplate.
If
Yeah,
anybody want, I have a copy if you'd like to look at it. if
Thank
anybody
you.
Cares to.
Sure, pass it
Yeah,
around.
we really do need that.
It's
sorry.
consistent with what the other maintenance mechanics do.
Oh, wow,
Who did
the
that?
heck, how the heck
It's
did,
all spaced.
well, that's happened when I emailed it.
Yeah, you
Oh,
had
but
a
it's
better
okay.
copy for us that day, but that was printed off my iPad.
Oh, so it's
Okay.
your machine. Your machine's false.
Basically, we're looking to hire a third,
Like the
nine,
design down through the middle.
yeah,
Yeah.
19-and-a-half-hour position. The position would be a maintenance mechanic too. So that would give us three, Monday through Friday, 8 to 3, people, that work 19-and-a-half hours each. So that, paying on the maintenance mechanic 1 scale for one of our employees who will take over a supervisory role, more coordination supervisory role, and then the other 3 are just maintenance mechanic 2s, which really do a lot of, here it is right there, that's it.
Yeah,
right
this
there.
is much easier to
Yeah.
read, Bill.
Yeah,
Oh, but
yeah.
much less adventurous.
After working the numbers, and I thought I submitted it with my email, which I did, not with the hard copies, but what it works out to be is the difference between 30 hours going to 19-and-a-half hours, and then the difference in pay. There is very minimum difference. We have a $94,000 line item, budget line item right now, 94,072. Maintenance labor, 94,782. Right now, we did hire that seasonal employee, so that number's high a little bit, but it's high in July and August, which we haven't received our increase yet from the state, the budget guidelines, so even if it falls in the 3%, anywhere between 3 and 10%, we're still underneath that number. We meet that number with the decrease in hours and then the difference in pay, so we're not really, it's basically getting more for our money with one extra person. So we have right now 3 maintenance with 1 seasonal employee. Now we're gonna have 4 regular guys. 1 guy's only 8 to 10 hours a week, and the other 3 are 19 and a half. So that's still at 71 hours, I think, with the 30 and then 49 and a half, and then we had 60 hours. So it's a little bit more hours, not more money, because we brought the money of that 3rd employee back down to
A lower
the
rate.
maintenance mechanic 1 rate,
Yeah.
because that's what they will be with a little coordinating roles.
I've got a question for you though.
Sure.
And my question is basically, so right now you have, say, Steve's still here now.
Right.
What do you have? The coverage
3,
now?
we
3.
have 3,
Okay, and how many hours, Steve does how many hours?
30,
30.
Okay, and how many hours the other 2?
19 and a half, and the other one's 11.
11.
Right.
Now, you don't feel that the new maintenance person coming in that's gonna take supervisory should be here more than 19 and a half hours?
And no, I don't, and the reason why is because the way the new Massachusetts labor laws are structured, we cannot pick and choose any benefits. They would automatically, per our personnel policy, be entitled to certain benefits over 19 and a half hours. So it really does work for us at 19 and a half hours. It gives this way, it gives us an extra hands-on 3 solid people during the winter months when we need the snow removals. It'll give us that, we won't have to, I do not expect to have to go out and buy or hire a seasonal employee in the summer for all of the land that we have, which, it's never ending with the trees and the leaves and the oak trees. And so,
The only thing that I see, and I'll be very honest with you,
Yep.
is that you're gonna become more involved in it because you're not gonna have the kind of commitment from a 19 and a half hour person. And it's just, if you can make it work, I think it's wonderful. I think
Right.
it's great. I'm all for giving it a shot. But I think you're gonna find you're not gonna get the level of a commitment that you get from a person that works closer to full time and works close by you. Because
You're right.
it's gonna be your partner.
right,
And if you don't have a good partner, your work's gonna start falling behind because you're gonna start doing their work.
Well, she's worked
Well,
up a
yeah.
relationship with the 2 part-timers we have now.
right, and
And we're gonna end up with 10 more hours at less money. And the property is getting in better shape, less trees with that work. Then
But we don't wanna go back to where we were.
No, absolutely not. No,
no, we
We've
were-
done it, you've
No,
been able to
that'll-
accomplish an awful lot with what you have.
that won't happen.
And I'm just saying, I think you think that if we decide to go with this, which I have no problem going along with it,
right.
I just feel that you better keep a close handle on it because it can get away from you.
Yes.
And you're gonna be ready to blow your brains out.
Well, one thing that I did do that we have changed with our maintenance staff is that all of them are now trained to handle the work order system as opposed to 1 point person. So they now have the ability to go in there and update their own work orders. So the work order system still comes through the main office. We handle every work order call. We farm it out to them, but now there doesn't need to be that they come in, like Mike comes in at 4, the other gentleman, my projection would have been like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for 119 and a half, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for another 19 and a half, and Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So we have coverage all days, we did before. But, and they no longer are dependent on, although there is a coordinator, a supervisor in the role of maintenance, they work more as team, and they all have certain capabilities to do certain things. and we decided that we were going to give, work towards, obviously if we have a night work order call, that Mike would do that. But Mike would do our, issues like, painting, continue to paint the halls and continue to, these are outside of vacancies and outside of regular work orders, so there'll be specific duties he has.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm just saying to be careful.
Okay, duly noted.
And the other thing that you are monitoring, you do call occasionally, do you randomly pick work orders when you go through them, just make sure that they
Absolutely.
did the job and everything?
I go, like, just even today, there was somebody I bumped into today that called last week for a work order. I'm like, did they show up? Oh, yeah. Matter of fact, 3 people called me in the last week to tell me thank you. We put the work order in.
That's great.
They're no longer dependent on waiting for someone to tell them what they should be doing. They go in, they grab the work order, they go. They kind of did alleviate some of that. What we needed 2 years ago is not something maybe we can work differently now.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Jean.
I just had a question. If Steve was working 30 hours,
Yep.
then was he entitled to all those benefits? Or?
No, he
contract.
had an
contract,
agreement.
okay.
Yeah.
He had all the benefits he needed, retirement, health insurance, and et cetera, so we didn't have to get into that. So
Okay.
that
All
that was why we entered into that arrangement. And
Makes
we would
sense.
do
Yeah.
the same with the next guy if that happened.
Yeah, so if it doesn't work, I will inform the board that we would go in another direction.
Okay.
Do you want to give this a trial period, Donna, do you think? Or do you want to
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
do you
No, I
want,
think it's up, it's strictly up to you.
Right.
I mean, you're the one that has to work with it, but I just know how much work there is.
yeah,
And I know that, I can say, doing it for 30 years,
Right.
my maintenance person was my partner.
yes, yes,
They
absolutely.
were, the head of my maintenance department was always my partner, and I couldn't operate without him.
Yeah,
Right. And,
this is a smaller.
yeah,
smaller place.
and one of the main reasons is because the gentleman that is kind of, that is taking over the duties and responsibilities comes from the federal government. And he understands what processes need to be put in place and with those, helping us to kind of be a little bit more organized in those areas. And I think that really lent me down this path to thinking that we could go in this direction because we would have another hands-on dedicated to Wareham Housing Authority. And I just think that in times when we have vacancies, when we are torn between, we need to juggle the work order, time limits, and getting vacancies out, this is a good way to go.
Next.
Okay.
I think human
Okay.
resources. Do we do human resources?
Okay, yeah, we're
That
doing
just
that
was-
now.
So you're still on there.
We did discuss, one line item that, we did discuss some sort of, compensation after the snow season. Our guys work really long and really hard hours, and I was just wondering, but, the committee decided that they wanted us to wait until after the season, depending on the situation, and whether or not they would move in that area or suggest it to the board. To give them some sort of added compensation after the snow season.
Depending on the winter,
Right.
if they're working
To give the
extra
maintenance
hours,
staff.
comp
But they're
time.
gonna get paid, every hour they work.
Yeah, they do
It's
get
not like
paid
they're
every,
doing anything for us for nothing.
correct,
No,
correct.
but
Right.
the other thing is if it got so much that they couldn't work, you can also probably reach out to the principal.
Contractors.
The principal in the guidance council at the school and see if you could work up with young high school seniors that would like to pick up
Kids
some
that
hours
need to do,
shoveling,
sure, absolutely, I could do
So
that,
It's,
Right.
I think it's
I just-
premature at the moment.
yeah, okay. And number 4, the administrator was asked to prepare for her performance accomplishments for a performance evaluation for review in December of 2017 meeting.
All right,
Okay,
okay.
and that is the 3 reports from the 3 subcommittees. I was looking for a motion to accept and authorize administrator to advertise for an additional maintenance mechanic 2 position.
Okay,
Do you,
have a motion to do that? So moved by Donna Bronk, do I have a second?
Yep.
Second by Bill Lockwood, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
So carried.
Then infrastructure report, we have finished, A, B, C, and D. E, hallways are completely done, and then, painting, and then F is on its way.
And that's all of them, right?
No, we have G and H to go.
Still G and
Yep,
H to
G and
go.
H to go. I mean, there's a tremendous amount of, even in the hallways, there's a lot of cut-ins, there's a lot of, there's high ceilings and on the ground, but Mike does a terrific job. And Pontiac Tree has removed trees behind F and 2 very dead oak trees, which I'm very grateful they're down. And has worked on all the limbs over in Redwood, off the roofs, which really is in desperate need. One other thing that has come to my attention after this, they did recommend that we fix all of the connections with on the roofs of the stacks, vent pipes. We need to actually redo them. So we put in a work order today, and we're looking to go forward, and thank God next week, the weather is gonna be held up in mid-40s for most of the week. And then the following weekend, getting back down to colder weather.
Did they do these trees out here too, I see fresh cuts out here?
Our maintenance staff did
They
them.
did them?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. We've been doing our own tree trimming as much as we can without, these guys had a bucket truck to go up to the big second floor stories. The maintenance office, admin office, and new unit creation. The maintenance office is 95% moved out of here. They've got a few more things to do and get on and get going. And then after much further discussion with different contractors to see whether or not we could move the wall out, whether or not we've decided, due to the fact that it's a little bit more involved than I wanted to put the money into. So we were just gonna use the space as is, work it. I've contacted the state of Massachusetts, because downstairs is our storage, and we contacted the Secretary of the State to get rid of 40 boxes of old stuff. They've changed their regulation for housing authorities. It's basically 3 years for everything except for board meeting minutes. Those are permanent, everything else is 3 years. And so I put in a request for 40 boxes so we can have a lot of space down there, and that's what we'll be using as our storage space. We'll be able to just kind of get, and I'm really hoping the state gets its act together for the online application system, because once that will clear out a tremendous amount of paperwork out of the office and free up some room. We've just, so we've got the grass erosion control behind Building 1, Agawam Village. The grass is coming in, doing a great job, and we've had no trouble. We have one limb that came down during, not this past storm, the storm before. I reached out to 7 different organizations. It was the town barn who told me that it was the state. State told me to call the police. The police told me to call the fire department. The fire department told me to call Eversource. Eversource said it's not their problem. It's Comcast and Verizon. I called both of them. Both of them said if the line's down, it's not their problem. They don't remove trees. It's still sitting up there. Eventually, it's going to die and
This
come
is the
down.
one down this street here?
It's right here at the very corner of our property.
It's hanging on the lot.
And it's hanging on I told the town that it's hanging on the sidewalk, and that, at the end of the day, even though, we certainly don't have, it is really twisted in the line, and it just is not something that we should even be involved in. And so I asked them, I've told them, reached out to everybody. They said no. So,
From a public safety point of view, wouldn't they want that off the sidewalk? I don't know.
yeah, I thought
We
so
can't-
too.
It's only a couple inches thick, this limb, isn't it?
No, actually, when you go to, the one limb that's hanging this way is only a couple inches, well, it's more than that.
Yeah.
But there's a really big dead one that's leaning right on but it's the under branches and limbs that are like intertwined. It's like when it got twisted, it got twisted. It's interesting, because you try to figure it out. Project Fish number 317028. They are, I've reached out to Gordon Ewan and Mark at Nault, and none of them have gotten back to me as of today with regards to where we're at with that program. So, underfloor plumbing, we are waiting for a review of the specs, and then I can hand it off to the infrastructure committee. And then once that's happened, we can go out to bid for that.
That's the CPC funding
Yep,
article,
yep.
right?
Yep, and then meeting with RCAT Tuesday. yesterday for the tub replacement in unit C13, and they came in, we took measurements, we talked about what was expected. They're going to write up the specs, and then once that happens, it goes out to bid, and we'll have that upgraded.
For one tub for replacement?
That's all the state gave us for one handicapped tub
Oh, it's a
replacement.
handicap.
It's a handicapped
Oh,
tub,
Change from a
going
Okay.
to a roll-in,
I was gonna say, yeah, all right, I
a
understand.
roll-in shower,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Because as with all of our projects, it actually is now gonna include asbestos removal. They need to fix some of the wall in one area, and anything else that we don't know about that will come after we take off the tiles. So the tub is not it's a unique size tub on top of it. Again, probably something the state was sold. But yeah, so there's some challenges there, so. And on that note, that's my report.
I
Okay, go.
have just one question.
Yeah.
And it's to do with was it the PMR? Is that?
PMR, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Do you have a plan, or do you have a program in effect to take care of these units that are overly cluttered and not being,
Okay, so with that particular one, absolutely.
well, like there was 5 of them?
No, that was one unit with 5 pictures. There's only one unit that they felt that was cluttered.
Okay.
Believe it or not, it is only one unit that they
Well,
took.
that's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's good.
We
Okay.
reached out to, when we did our yearly inspection,
Yeah.
we reached out to her, and she is an elderly woman, and we gave her till 12/1. We're
Yeah.
doing a reinspection.
Yeah.
And she said, we informed, it was kind of confusing because the state said, tell everyone we're gonna come. And then on the morning, we picked the ones we wanna go
Yeah.
to.
It's always
They
good.
actually had sent it the day before, but I went into my spam and I didn't get a notice, and
Yeah.
the woman did not stay at her unit. So when she got there, when they inspected, she had told me just the weekend before, she had a storage container at her sister's place, and her sister made her take everything out of the storage. So she had removed her stuff, brought in her stuff that was in storage. So she had been told. I have now told her, I've given her every opportunity to reach out to Old Colony Elder Services, which will come and help her. She said, she assures me that it is no longer cluttered. I will not be doing the inspection until Monday of next week.
Okay.
And then once I do that, we will, if she has not done anything with that, I am gonna reach out to Old Colony. They do have a hoarding service there, and she will be mandated to do whatever. I will
Good.
tell her that. I mean, I will send her the official notice. It is a fire hazard.
Well,
And
it's actually a 30-day notice, and then usually, if you work with them, once they get that, they'll work with you.
yes, they do.
Sometimes they will not work with you until they get that little bit of,
Until they go stand before the
Sure.
judge sometimes, you know,
exactly.
so.
So,
We
They don't
we
see it.
have had two other units that had been cluttered in hoarding, and they've been very successful with the same entire thing
Okay.
that I'm doing. So
that's good.
she knows that I truly mean that I will go before,
Okay.
we'll send her to the judge, because we cannot have that, because it does not just an endangerment for her, it's troublesome. It also is an endangerment to the whole community. We can't have that. So it's a very serious issue. She knows that I mean business. I've already
Okay.
sent her the certified letter back when we did our yearly inspection. The Board of Health did not write her up. They said that as long as we take care of it, and they will be, because we had one other the year before, and when he came back, he was very satisfied with, we got her services, the other person from last year. She now has services, so she has housekeeping and
Okay.
some PCA work where.
I just wanted to make sure
Yeah.
that we're following up on that. Okay.
Okay, so, we went over the budget sheet, and we're gonna, I'm all set.
Motion to accept.
Oh, I'm sorry, just to show you that I gave you a copy of the acronyms that the state uses, everybody. And so
Oh, I
some,
just looked up PMR.
yeah,
I didn't see it.
yeah, okay, so I'm all set, yeah, that's it, I'm all set,
All right, thank
Property
you.
management review,
yeah.
That's it.
I know well.
Program management, right?
Yeah, that's,
Program.
yeah.
Okay, any further, nothing further, okay. There's a letter in here to Miss Claire Cook for their donation of clothing.
That family gave us 21 bags of the most awesome clothes. A woman had died, a deceased woman, friends of my family, and they were looking for someplace to donate. But I had no idea how beautiful these clothes, brand new, beautiful sweaters, beautiful jackets, lots of bedding, and really, the people at Redwood were very grateful and
So it went to good use.
very much.
Okay, anything further? Let's see, that was Commissioner Corley. It's still, he gave us the operating statements, but it was still like next time before the budget for December. Ask him for the balance sheet and the operating statement for September maybe. So we can see how we stand in terms of our reserves.
Okay.
Anything else further come before this? Okay, so the next meeting will be the 19th at 3:30.
Second?
I second.
No further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.